Welcome to session 1 of Family Addiction Engagement Training. I'm so excited that you're here. This is very different than anything I've seen before. And in this session, we are going to start out here with talking about the past and the culture. And the reason for doing that is because the mixed messages about addiction started in the culture many centuries ago, really. And actually, when we start to understand that and see that these mixed messages add to the difficulty in navigating addiction for an individual, but especially for the family too. How this session can be most helpful, and really take this session slow, and there's a lot of resources here, but how this can be most helpful is it's an invitation into new information. And the new information will help you and your family have criteria to make decisions so you can be in command of the process. One, to engaging your loved one in treatment, but two, as they go into treatment, really understanding the background of addiction can be so very helpful. So some of the specifics is we talk about rational thinking and rational thinking about addiction, how it's been defined and seen has been changed over the years. And what I found interesting is when I looked way back at what they thought addiction was, even though at that time period, to them, everything made sense, now we look at it and we see so many gaps where it's like, this doesn't make sense. The reason why I show that is for you to start getting curious about rational thinking about addiction today. And so you can ask good questions. I also make it clear that my background is with biochemical repair, and that is my bias. However, pharmaceuticals have saved my life, quite frankly. I know they can be used together, and I am going to support you whether you choose just this or just that, or, hey, I think they can be used together as well. That's one thing. And then I start to show some tools with the biochemical repair, the birth to addiction spectrum, which is one document that kind of shows a sequence that I think is so important to understand that can lead to addiction. Why it's important to understand is we want to catch this problem before it gets worse and worse and worse, because it's easier to deal with. It's easier for the family to deal with. And once it gets further along, it's almost impossible for the family to deal with alone. Many outside resources are needed. Some of the tools that I will be talking about, other than the birth to addiction spectrum, is the reward deficiency pathway, which is a pathway that gets forged when someone does a substance over and over and over again. It's like deep ruts in a muddy road. And then the amino acid therapy chart actually shows that numerous substances can deepen those ruts. And when those substances are stopped and actually and the suggestion here is amino acids are used, the amino acids can actually rebuild that pathway, which is super exciting, where pharmaceuticals don't. That's some of the content that I'm excited to share with you. And then the timestamp, take a look at the timestamp, because it will show in the video at what point in the video I'm talking about different topics. I really believe that there is a lot here that can be so helpful for you, and being able to stop the video, go back and listen to what I was talking about, and then if it still doesn't make sense and you're still asking yourself, how does this apply to me? Please bring those questions to the group coaching sessions. That is what they are for, and you are not the only one probably that has that question. There's the invitation, and then at the end of the slides, I talk about field work, and it's essentially an invitation to do some exercises or research. Two very important ones there. If you have questions about what is this biochemical repair and nutraceuticals and stuff like that, I have a link to a web page that has compiled a lot of that scientific research. That's one. The other exercise that I think everybody should do, and I know will be so valuable to you as you go along in this process, is understanding positive and negative reinforcers for your loved one. And I'm so glad that you are here. And I really want you to stay engaged with this and ask questions.